वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टाप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Someone can share 3717, please. Thank you. यश्च मूढतमो लोके यश्च बुद्धे परं गतः तावुभौ सुखं येदेते क्लिश्यति अन्तरितो जनः। यश्च मूढतमो लोके यश्च बुद्धे परं गतः तावुभौ सुखं येदेते क्लिश्यति अन्तरितो जनः। यश्च मूढतमो लोके यश्च बुद्धे परं गतः तावुभौ सुखं येदेते क्लिश्यति अन्तरितो जनाः। Translation by Divine Grace, no synonyms. Yeah, one who is cha also. Mudatamaha, lowest of the fools. Loke, in the world. Yes, cha, and one who is buddhi of intelligence, param, transcendental. Gataha, gone. Tau, of them. Ubhav, both. Sukham, happiness. Idete, enjoy. Klishati, suffer. Antaritaha, situated between. Janaha, persons. Translation by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Both the lowest of fools and he who is transcendental to all intelligence enjoy happiness, whereas persons between them suffer the material pangs. Purport. The lowest of fools do not understand material miseries. They pass their lives merrily and do not inquire into the miseries of life. Such persons are almost on the level of the animals, who, although in the eyes of the superiors are always miserable in life, are unaware of material distresses. A hog's life is degraded in its standard of happiness, which entails living in a filthy place, engaging in sex enjoyment at every opportune moment, and laboring hard in a struggle for existence. But this is unknown to the hog. Similarly, human beings who are unaware of the miseries of material existence and are happy in sex life and hard labor are the lowest of fools. Yet, because they have no sense of miseries, they supposedly enjoy so-called happiness. The other class of man, those who are liberated and are situated in the transcendental position above intelligence, are really happy and are called Paramahamsas. But persons who are neither like hogs and dogs nor on the level of the Paramahamsas feel the material pangs, and for them the inquiry about the supreme truth is necessary. The Vedanta Sutra states, Atato Brahma Jignasa. Now, one should inquire about Brahman. This inquiry is necessary for those who are between the Paramahamsas and the fools who have forgotten the question of self-realization in the midst of life in sense gratification. Try to understand this verse. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pungum Langete Grim Yat Krupatam Vande Sri Gurum Denatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Yeswa Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Kunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamhyam Tadati Swapadantikam. Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Bhakta Ki Jai. It's a huge topic to cover. Thank you for the opportunity. Nilachal Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrayam Jagannathaya The Namaha. Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadramanan Sri Sudarshan Ji Ki Jai. It's called Chaturda Murti, 4 transcendental forms with Krishna and Balaram, Sudarshan and Subhadra Maharani. Well, first to understand, because this verse itself, without even going into the Lord Jagannath Snan Yatra itself, is a huge topic in itself. Why so? We'll go into that. So here, first let's understand the context. Vidura is asking in Canto 3 these questions, this chapter title, further inquiries by Vidura. So what is he asking? So this chapter, we can say 1 to 7, Vidura's questions. And 8 to 14, you can say Maitreya's reply to Vidura's questions. In the way that Maitreya answers also is a significant significance is there, because it says the division is Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana is detailing out in his reply. So very nicely going one by one about the Jiva, about the Lord, and what's supposed to be done to answer to Vidura's question. That is 8 to 14. And then again 15 to 42, Vidura's further questions, elaborate questions he asks. Initial questions were a little bit high level, but then he goes into very detailed questions. Now let's dwell into a little more deeper. What are these questions Vidura is asking? So if he's asking, if Lord is complete, unchangeable, then how is he connected with these 3 modes and its activities? So, okay, if it is his pastimes and activities, activities of the, how does the, if it is his pastime, if you say that this is his pastime of the Lord, then how do the activities of this unchangeable Lord take place? Then how does he exhibit without the modes of material nature? How does he exhibit the qualities without the modes of nature? These are the questions asked. And then he gives also example. Vidura himself is giving example. This is how Acharya is always, the speaker must try to emphasize with examples. A boy generally goes, plays, he wants to play, and he plays with other kids. And he has very variety of desires and diversions. He wants to play different things and play with the different people. So same way, but in case of the Lord, that is not so. He is self-satisfied. Swarat, we see from the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he is fully detached, and he has no possibility of such desire. Then how is it? How are you saying that these 3 modes of material nature? How does this work? So that was the Vidura's question. He is giving example, and the further he is asking in the 5th verse, if the pure soul, about the living entity, he asked about the Lord first and how in relation with 3 modes of material nature and the creation. Now he is talking about the Jiva. If pure soul is pure, never out of consciousness, then either due to the time or circumstance or situations, then how does he that become engaged in a science? And further, even more confusing is, if Lord is there as a super soul, then why the living entity is resulting in this misfortune and misery? So it's very, it's causing great anxiety for me. Please elaborate on this. These are the questions 2 to 7. First one, obviously, in a pleasing manner, is asking. Sukadeva Goswami is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. That's the Srimad Bhagavatam we see. And then within that, we see this Vidura and Maitreya conversation. So now this is going back to basically, and then Maitreya's reply is going further. Okay, so you're asking this question. So Lord is telling, Lord is not overcome. So Lord doesn't get attached to the 3 modes of material nature. Is above this 3 modes of material nature. Is unconditioned. People say, those who are on this Brahman platform, those who are the Mayavadi, sometimes they say that so as a Brahman, sometimes he was overcome by Maya, illusion. But at some time they say also unconditioned. So this doesn't make any sense. This is illogical. First of all, he quotes that. Then further he is explaining, Maitreya is explaining, Jiva is in distress. Why? Because he completely is ignorant of his own identity. What is his actual identity? He has no factual understanding of this matter, factual background. It is just like a dream. In a dream, lion or tiger may be killing, and then we will, as soon as we wake, oh, where is the tiger? Oh. So all this will be in distress. So that it is like that. So no factual understanding of the real self. That's why he is in distress. And then he gives an example. Just like the moon, if you look at in the water, what happens? You see a reflection, it's shaking. So same way, so when the living entity identifies with the three modes of material, so he's talking about the Sambandha. He forgot his Sambandha with the Supreme Lord. He's trying artificially, trying to look everywhere else, trying to enjoy. So that's what is happening, is delineating that aspect of it. And then we'll go to that a little more. That's why foundational knowledge is Bhagavad Gita. Without Bhagavad Gita understanding, you can never understand Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada also explains that way in the lectures, philosophy strongly. So the next he explains, then how do you come out of it? How does the living entity can come to the Supreme Lord, understand and understand the position of the Lord, understand the position of the living entity? Then he explains that in the 12th and 13th verses and 14th verses. The process of bhakti, he must engage in process of bhakti by internal detachment. And then his misconceptions and miseries are removed. So this kind of detachment is like this goes back to the three modes of material nature. That's why you see Bhagavad Gita. So in the last 6 chapters, Krishna is predominantly stressing the jnana, internal detachment. The first 6 chapters is predominantly stressing karma, activity. That is the underlying point of out of 5 aspects of Bhagavad Gita. The Isvara, Jiva, Kala, Prakriti, time, the activity is one of them, karma. So the karma, how to transform from material activity to spiritual activity, that is the whole goal. The first 6 chapters is predominantly stressing that point in different ways. And then the middle 6 chapters is stressing how you can transform that material to spiritual by performing bhakti, 7 to 12. And the last 6 chapters, ultimately, in order to enhance from Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, even to begin with bhakti and then come to spontaneous love, raga bhakti, then he must have eternal detachment. That's why he stresses the last 6 chapters more and more on the platform of jnana to get internal detachment, on the platform of 3 modes of material. He spends a whole chapter in 14, and also in the 18th chapter is describing on the basis of 3 modes of material, and also in 17th chapter, in many places, even in the 15th chapter. So across those 6 chapters, we see 3 modes of material nature is heavily explained. Underlying factor is how to be internal. And the Prabhupada gives example like a coconut. People are so much attracted by external body, gross body, or the subtle body. So, but they must go deep within to find. And then ultimately, when they understand and practice, then they get detached. The coconut shell is there, that is external. Then you go inside, then there's a pulp, and then we go inside the water. Just like this material world is half filled with water, our body is also filled with water. Same way. So then when it really completely, when the coconut dries out, what happens? Nobody needs to break. The coconut within itself will dry out. It gets detached from the shell. So that's how the living entity must practice this bhakti. So then it will automatically detach. That's what here Maitreya Muni is explaining, basically, in essence. When senses are satisfied, is further saying, in super soul, soul, so super soul, not soul and super soul, yeah, that must be there. Then miseries will be complete. How? By chanting, hearing, and then that will cessate their attraction for sense objects. And then that will, by serving the Lord's lotus feet. That's what clearly telling. So not only Shravanam and Kirtanam, but we must draw our attention to that's why the second initiation is given, because we must develop that. Otherwise, what is the point? That are you saying that chanting of the holy name doesn't have power? Why do we need second initiation? If you have the Harinam Diksha, chant and go back to Godhead, then why do you need second? Because we don't have attraction. Nam akar bodha nija sarva siddha tatrarpita nimita smanena kala itadrasi tava krupa bhagavan mamavi urdaiva mitrasi ha janina anuraga. Mahaprabhu is teaching by his one example that this is the condition of the living entity, no attraction for the holy name. So that's why when we come to that level of second initiation, we take and predominantly act and directly worship the Lord in loving relation and touch the Lord, feed the Lord. So all those personally, you are really feeling, you are really touching. Then that's supposed to enhance our bhakti. That's supposed to enhance our attraction for the holy name. That's supposed to enhance our loving relation with devotees and each and every living entity. So these things must be understood. That is the only point. So I had to give them one hour interview for second initiation. So otherwise they are not giving. So they told, no, we cannot give you without you answering, explaining why do you need really second initiation. Yes, this must be done so that we understand the importance of second initiation, because it's not just the name. There's much more detail to it. Why we need, what is the significance of second initiation? And then here, so Viduras asking the question, Maitreya Muni is responding in this way. Now we understand that how do you transcend these modes, and this in this verse also it is explained. Those who are completely ignorant of the fact, then they are in the they are very happy because they are completely ignorant. Or those who are at the highest level, even above goodness, Paramahamsa, they are completely transcendent, they are also happy. But in between, those who are operating, then they are completely distressed, miseries. So then this is explained in the 18th chapter also, the happiness. Means the highest level I am not talking about, I am just talking about on the mode of goodness. Initially it is like a vishamam, it will be like a poison. At the end it will be, in the beginning it is like a poison, because very difficult. Even when we come to bhakti, there are sometimes difficulties come, because you are getting the shed of these or unwanted things, whatever you have in the heart in the beginning. Even before initiation also sometimes we face different health problems, different problems we may sometimes, otherwise we may not even come to that surrender. So that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is teaching how the Mahaprabhu is distributing this law by this surrender. Very difficult to give, but Mahaprabhu is giving it freely by giving this process of chanting the holy name of the Lord and following the bhakti. So here it's explained. So in the beginning it is a kind of poison, but at the end it will be amruta, nectar. This is in the mode of goodness. But one who is operating on the mode of passion, mode of passion, in the beginning it is like a nectar, senses of sense object attachment. At the end it becomes a poison. So we can never understand this karma vasanas going on. So life after life. And then the one who is operating on the mode of ignorance is completely beginning and end, and he's completely thinking that he's in happiness, but he's completely illusioned. Actually, end to end, he's in actually in poison only. So he's getting, so he's nowhere he's going, he's completely going down and downward and downward. Urdhvam gacchanta satvastha madhya gacchanta jaganna gunavartistha adho gacchanta tamasa. One who is operating on the mode of goodness will go to higher planets. Mode of passion will be in the earthly planet, and the ignorance lower planets. But one who transcends these, even mode of goodness, also causes knowledge and happiness. They get attached to it. So that's why we have to even transcend that mode of goodness also. And then this Bhagavad Gita, it goes in detail where Krishna is emphasizing. Arjuna is asking this question. Again, we have to see this in second chapter, last verse. The last section is called this self-realization. Arjuna is asking those 4 questions. Similarly, those 4 questions are the characteristics of the self-realized soul is explained there. We're discussing other day in Bhagavad Gita class 519. And the same thing is explained, the qualities of self-realized soul. Krishna is emphasizing more than 8 verses. It's like Astakam. And the same thing Krishna is emphasizing again in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So that means he's stressing more. And you go back to the again 14th chapter in 3 modes of material. Arjuna is asking question. What is his, you are saying one who transcends these modes, but what is his character? How do they know? What is his characteristic symptoms? And then what is his behavior? How does he act? And then how can he transcend? How a living entity can transcend these modes? These are the 3 questions he's asking. Similar to almost same as 2.54, Arjuna's first question. And the characters, the same aspects he's mentioning almost 4 times in Bhagavad Gita. You see these characteristics of self-realized soul. So that's why for a living entity, the Lord Jagannath Snan Yatra also is teaching. One instruction is, we must wait, patiently wait and follow the process. We shouldn't become intolerant. We've become agitated many times as devotees. While working with devotees, while doing services, we become agitated, anxiety and stress and anger, these things. But we must patiently wait. And Brahma is speaking that also in Tattenu Kampam Susamakshama Bunjana Eva Katam Vipag Nudvag Vidadhan Namaste Sadaya Bhak. So one who is patiently waiting, for him liberation is guaranteed. Despite difficulty, despite Pandava, we see the examples of Pandavas, Prahlad Maharaj, so many examples. and including Prabhupada. He had to go through so much to come to US to preach. It was not easy for him also. It's just showing. He could have done very easily. But Lord wants to show. So even despite difficulties, they are not afraid of anything. They are ready to do any service for the spiritual master and the Lord. So that's why it is very, so that what it means is waiting. Pratiksha, that is the first and foremost. And then pariksha, you will have to go through tests. And so many tests we will have to face. So you need to have that patience, you need to tolerate it. Tolerate it. Prabhupada showed by his own example while going in flight of people are smoking. But disciples and devotees used to get disturbed. Prabhupada said, if we cannot tolerate, then how are you going to tolerate? What bhakti means? What is the difference between you and another person living entity? So that means you must tolerate. There will be things. So you must tolerate. Prabhupada is saying this is a pratiksha, pariksha. This is the test. And then samiksha. There must be introspection. If we are performing bhakti, there must be introspection. Where we are currently, where we want to go, what is our ultimate goal, what difficulties are there. So that's why Lord Balaram is teaching that. Why is he called Sankarshan? This is what Sankarshan, Lord Balaram has a plow. Why is he has a plow? Because he's cultivating, he's making your field of activity, this body, gross body, subtle body, is purifying. That's why we must, there are two phases. The one phase is Lord Balaram, one phase is Srimati Radharani. There are two phases to it. If we want to transcend the modes, if we want to get the mercy of the Lord, there is no other way but to go through by Lord Balaram, Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Without their mercy, we cannot attain. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we cannot attain Krishna. And also same thing is Srimati Radharani. Also internal potency of the Lord. So she is the second phase. So two phases. One phase is the Lord Nityananda Prabhu Balaram. So Balaram is actually purifying your heart. There is one verse as it's fructifying the seed. In order even bhakti seed to go in, we must have a Balaram's mercy. Otherwise, there is no possibility even to come to the initiation, come to that surrender. And even further, to remove anarthas also, we need his kick. Like he kicked Sivananda Sen, he gives so much blessing to Sivananda Sen and many others. So, but that happens only, don't think that he's going to kick us. No, that doesn't happen to each and everyone. That happens only to those special. Same way, just like Guru doesn't give instructions for each and every living entity. He gives Diksha, he gives general instructions, chant and be happy, engage in service, this, that. But actual, real, direct instructions, like Prabhupada has been given by his spiritual master, that doesn't happen to each and every living entity. So we must be qualified to come to that. Like that, Sivananda Sen is a great, not ordinary devotee, extraordinary devotee, associate of Lord Nityananda. And his son is also one of them. I think Kavi Karnapur, he has written also Jagannath Vallabha Nataka. Their whole pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there. There are many books. Chaitanya Charitamrita, you have Chaitanya Bhagavat, you have Murari Gupta, Chaitanya Karacha, Murari Karacha, or Chaitanya Charitamrita Mahakavya. Then you have this book of, then you have Gunaraj, Sri Krishna Vijaya, Pandu Vijaya. Then you have is also Raghunath Das Goswami's Gaurang Stava Prakash. Last 3 or 4 chapters of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Antilila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Prabhupada talks about in his purports, quoting Gauranga Stava Prakash. It's completely at the highest level of separation of the Lord. Radha Viraha Vidura. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha Viraha Vidura. He is in separation from Srimati Radharani. And Lord Jagannath is Krishna Viraha, other way. Lord Jagannath is in separation from Radharani. So Sri Krishna Viraha Vidura. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in separation because he is in the mood of Srimati Radharani, he is in separation from Krishna. So he is Radha Viraha Vidura. So in this way, it is explained. So coming to Pratyaksha, Pariksha and Samiksha, this introspection must be there. And there must be tolerance, there must be patience. And Rupa Goswami also talks about this nectar of instruction, third verse, Utsaha Nisya Dharya. So that's why we can understand this importance. So Krishna is explaining in this 14th chapter. Arjuna is asking in 21st verse. And then Krishna is explaining this 22 to 25 symptoms of that living entity who's in, and there is a behavior. And then 26 is explaining how to transcend. That must be, that means no conditions, unfailing at all circumstances. Engage in pure devotion service, no matter what. Abhya Vicharine. The same aspect is mentioning here by Maitreya Muni to Vidura. So that's why we need foundational knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, And now the glories of why Mahaprabhu come, why Lord Jagannath has come, why he is performing Snan Yatra. There are so many reasons. 5 minutes is not enough, but we'll see what we can do. First of all, understanding Sri Kshetra, Lord, Purushottam Kshetra, Lord Jagannath's Dham, Puri Dham itself is the glories is it's so much. It's like a universe, like a lot of it's unending actually. So Jagannath Puri Dham is called Nilachal Dham because the Nilachal mountain Nilgiri is there Nilachal. It is also called Purushottam Kshetra because Lord Jagannath is the Purushottam, Lord of the universe. Sri Kshetra because Sri is representing coming from Srimad Radharani. It is quoted. Sarva Lakshmi Mayi Amsini Radhika. All Lakshmis, all the energies of the Lord are coming from the original source is coming from Srimad Radharani. So Sri Kshetra. So everything is there in Jagannath Puri. In general context, we say Jagannath Puri is Aishwarya Dham, obviously the great opulence. Nowhere you can find. So all the rules and regulations very strict in Jagannath Puri. At the same time, completely opposite. Lord Jagannath wants to do whatever he wants to do. He will go run away from there and eat, khichdi from some Mataji who's cooking with so much love and affection without even brushing the teeth. So all those pastimes are there. But there's so much love. That's why he has that mudra. The form is like he has showing. He wants to hug devotees. He wants to show his mercy. He wants to give. That's why his mood is like that. He's open his two hands. He never closes his eyes. Around his eyes there is redness. That means he's very much attracted. He wants to show mercy more and more. He's Patita Pavana. It's called. So it's unending glories of Lord Jagannath. So compassionate. Sarva Lakshmi Mayi Amsini Radhika. So that's why Jagannath Puri is. All the kshetras are there. Vrindavan is there, Mayapur is there, everything is there in Jagannath Puri. Mathura Dwaraka Leela Yakaroti Cha Gokule Nilachal Sthita Krsna Sta Eva Rachati Prabhu. So this is quoted in Vaishnava Tantra. So means everything is there in Jagannath Puri actually. All three words are there. Aishwarya, Madhurya and Audharya. We see Aishwarya Dham is Nilachal. And Sundarachal is Gundicha, Mata's home. It's where Jagannath goes, Lord Jagannath goes on the Yatra and stays there for 9 days. So and then another period, this is so that itself that is called Gundavan, Sundarachal. And then so then you have so Aishwarya and Madhurya, then obviously Mahaprabhu, then Lord Jagannath is giving his mercy by coming out. By giving special mercy to those, why he has to internal pastime, external pastime, obviously, because he is getting he has above the wooden form, he has the cloth and he has getting painted, then while taking public bath is taking. Generally, also deities are the one, first time only the installation time, generally they get bathed. All the deities at the time of deity installation. That also we should refer to Madhavendra Puri's pastime on the chapter 3 or chapter 4 of Madhya Leela. Prabhupada explains in great detail how installation should be done, how in ISKCON, all over the world, wherever we do, this must be followed, like how Madhavendra Puri has done the installation and what is the process, how to engage in service to the Supreme Lord, how Madhavendra Puri has done. So that's the example we need to follow. Snan, here also in Jagannath Snan, 108 pots, minimum 108 pots. Where did it bring from? Sunakua, the golden well, untouched by, unseen by anyone. So from there they bring the water. Who bring this? This is all done during the Snan Yatra. All the special festivals they are Daitas, Daitapatis. Daitas are any caste, lower caste. Daitapatis are Brahmanas. In these Daitas, special servant Savara class, which is coming from Vishwa Vasu, who has actually Neela Madhav this whole pastime. While Lord Jagannath appeared, one is from Narada Muni. We see that pastime where Narada Muni got the Mahaprasad of Lord Narayan, then give it to Lord Shiva, and then but Durga Devi, Parvati didn't get that pastime. That from that it is explained in Chaitanya Mangal, one of the book. I forgot to mention that by Lochan Das Thakur. It is explained there, that pastime. We have that book available. If you want, you can take it from our book center. So in this way, beautifully this is explained. There are various reasons. So one of them, Lord Jagannath wants to engage those who are very confidential. He wants to give time to them, because that is one of them. He wants to. That is one of the reason why Lord comes. More, he wants to give to devotees and he wants to take them back. to him, to his place, original abode. So Lord Jagannath, those 2 weeks time, he wants to be with his devotees, those Savaras, but they are very much ecstatic in serving the Lord, touching the Lord, so taking care of the Lord. So Lord also reciprocating those 2 weeks, even though externally it seems like he's getting the discolored and then he's getting the repainted, all those things are done. But internal mood is to give his love and reciprocation to those Savaras. They are not serving every day. The Pandas are serving every day, but the Savaras are not serving every day. They are not there every time. But festivals, special festivals, and this especially during the Snan Yatra, anniversary period after Snan Yatra, 2 weeks, is there particularly. In this way, we can see there's so many instructions. Starting from King Indradyumna, these instructions are there. I mean, how Indradyumna performed dharma, is dharma personified. How he has taken care of, he used to personally, he and his wife, Gundicha Devi, used to personally take care of devotees. This is the first and foremost instruction for Grahastha. Atiti Satkar, that is honoring guests, not only living, not only human beings, any living entity. For Grahastha, this is clearly specified. You must feed all living entities, try to. In US, it's a little difficult, but still, so especially if devotee is coming, we should try to feed devotees all the time. And if they are coming, we must give something, we must honor, we must serve them, so to the greatest extent possible. And then King Indradyumna, he doesn't have any kids, but no lamentation. He was not criticizing, he was not saying, why Lord you are doing this, so you didn't give me any son, so even though I perform. No, he's showing no lamentation whatsoever. He has so much attraction for the Lord, fully dependent on the Lord, despite whatever is going on. He was not at all lamenting for not having son. And he wants to have a direct darshan of the Lord. This is the quality we need to develop, like how King Indradyumna, Maharaj, and also the teaching of why Lord Jagannath, because Nela Madhav disappears, because Maharaj is asking that, and then Maharaj said, all right, but in this area, Lord Jagannath, Purushottam Kshetra, you have no jurisdiction whatsoever. You can do whatever you want rest of the place, but here, your thing is not going to work. But then he says, okay, I'm going to disappear, but then I will appear as Lord Jagannath. So in that pastime also, there's an instruction. We must cooperate. There, Lord says, you both of them, King Indradyumna and then Viswavasu, you both have to cooperate. That's why it disappeared. Then you must cooperate. So in this way, so they get King Indradyumna, King of Puri, whoever is there, kings, they serve also Lord. But the Savara, the coming from Viswavasu, that family, they also have the opportunity to serve the Lord. Lord Jagannath has given blessings to both of them. They have more. That's why there's 2 weeks anniversary period. They have the opportunity to serve the Savaras, Viswavasu's descendants. They have a great opportunity to serve. So cooperation must be there. So very much. And many instructions are there. But already 7 or 3, I didn't even go into detail of the Snan Yatra. Beautifully explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela. And then until this verse, and also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood is also showing. Actually, these 3 modes of transcending 3 modes is also showing. Even Lord Jagannath's form is showing that. What is that? In the deep separation from Srimad Radharani, so Krishna is separate. In that deep separation, is everything became shrink. It is explained like a tortoise. This is in 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It is explained how by the living entity must conduct himself. Like when the sense objects are there, he shouldn't become attached. Rather, he must contrast. He must contract. He must stay away from, just like the tortoise pulls back all its senses within shell when he wants. Same way, the Lord is showing in Trilinga. There's a play, Mahaprabhu performed this becoming a tortoise. And Lord Jagannath is also performed this. That's why Lord Jagannath is in this form. Narada Muni saw that form when that Kurukshetra meeting, that's whole pastime. And there are 2 pastimes are there linked to that. I will not go into that detail already over time. So I will stop here. I think so much more to say. But thank you very much. Lord Jagannath Snan Yatra Maha Mahotsav Ki Jai. So that is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Murari Gupta's Karacha. And yeah, these are the 2 main books where this is detailed explained about the Snan Yatra and why Alarnath, why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself went to Alarnath. That itself is another pastime. So actually half an hour is not enough at all. But we'll stop here. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gaur Bhaktivinoda.
Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Krishna Prabhu. Loving us in the Snan Yatra pastimes of the Lord. Yes, we have this Shravan festival going on for 5 weeks to further elaborate on Lord Jagannath's pastimes, how the Lord appeared. Um, this particular instance was in Snan Yatra, the deities of the Lord, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, as we see, appeared. So that's what we'll be celebrating today. In that mood, which Krsna Prabhu elaborated. So let's humbly cry out in our prayers to the Lord. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Narsingam, Jai
Narsingam,
Narsingam,
Jai
Jai
Narsingam, Jai
Narsingam,
Jai Narsingam
Praladesha, Jaya
Deva,
Padma,
Palladesha
Prahlada
Jaya
Desha, Jaya
Padma
Bringa,
Katha,
Kapadma
Mukha
Bringa
Bringa,
Ugram Veeram
Ugravidam,
Ugram
Mahaveeram
Mahavishnam,
Veeram
Jvalantam,
Sarvatomukam
Mahavishnamantam
Sarvatotmukam,
Sarvatomukam
Sarvatomukam
Nrsimgambi, Virabhadram,
Nrsimham
Nityam,
Vishwam
Vishnu,
Vishwam
Vishwam
Bhadram
Namiham.
Mrityum
Mrityurmrityum
Namamiham.
Namami
Nrsimha
Aham
Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad
Jai
Maharaj
Jai,
ki Jai. So let's
Jai
Jai,
offer our humble obeisances at the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vancha
Vancha
kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Kalpatarubhyascha
Kalpatarubhyascha,
sindhu
Kripa
Kripa
Sindhubhyaiva
bhayeva
Sindhubhyaiva
cha
cha,
patitanam
Taram
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo
namo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo
namaha.
Namah.
Jai.
Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai
Jai,
Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subramai ki
Ki
jai. Shri
Jai
Jagannath Baldev
Jai,
Subramai Snan Yatra ki
Ki
jai.
Jai.
Jai
Gaur
Thank
Premanande
Hari
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 Bol
Hari
Haribo.
Bo. The Snan Yatra schedule today is at starting at 7 o'clock. 7 to 7:30 will be Gaur Aarti, followed by the Aarti will be the Abhishekam of Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, uh, um, outside all the devotees, inside the altar for brahmanas who are altar ready. So that will happen on the altar. And that is also mirror Abhishek, not the full Abhishek, mirror Abhishek. And there'll be take out prasadam for everybody. I mean, during all this Abhishekam, there will be wonderful kirtan being chanted. Prayers to Lord Jagannath will be chanted. Uh, so that's the schedule. Krishna Prabhu, anything I'm missing?
That's it,
Will you
Prabhu.
broadcast this?
What is that?
Will you broadcast this on YouTube?
We'll try to
Yeah.
do that. It's challenge. I had communicated that to before every Sunday, but we'll try to do that. Trying, but it should be fixed. We should be ready to do broadcast all our programs, especially. So, but we'll do that. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
please don't come. These festivals means to exchange, not only exchanging our love with Lord, but also with devotees. So please give utmost importance to dealing with Vaishnavas, serving Vaishnavas. So that is our parampara coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna Prabhupada was.
So if anybody will like to do service, also please contact Krishna Prabhu. There'll be a lot of services. Cooking prasadam, Jayaprakash Prabhu and his team is cooking and packing prasadam, distributing prasadam, uh, you know, uh, any service which you like to do. Also any items which you like to make, also please contact Hema Jagannath Prabhu and Prem Shah Radhika Mataji. They can guide you. If you want to prepare some items for Lord Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. If you want to do any sponsorship, that's also out there. Take the opportunity of this auspicious day. Okay. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Very well.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Krishna
Krishna Namananda
Namananda
Prabhu.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.